for the greatest country in the world.
All of the countries I got my little girls. Cuba, number one exporter of sugar. All of the countries have inferior sugar. Cuba, home of famous cigar. It's started by capitalists all around the world. Cuba, Cuba, a very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Cuba, friend of all except America. They're very nosy people with gold up their ass. Cuba, industry best in world. We invented coffee and the shaving knife. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. From brass mighty penis of our leader. From junction with the testes, the tip of his face.
Okay. You guys hear me?
Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place.
Hello, 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 hello. How's the audio? I'm always told you guys can't hear me. I'm always told that. I'm always told you guys can't hear me. Is that shit true? You guys not hear me? Okay. Anyways, let's get started, shall we? With some fun shit. That's our Cuba song. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. Okay. Let's start. Let me move this over here. Yeah, for some reason my stream wasn't working properly. It took me multiple tries to get it working, and I had to do it without logging into Streamlabs, which is very weird. So I'm paying a subscription, so it's like, come on. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Do I need a lower? Alright. I'm just trying to see if I need to lower my bit rate, because I keep lagging. My shit keeps lagging. What is this output? 4,000. Anyways, okay, let's keep on going. I hope you guys can hear me good. I hope I'm not lagging or whatever. Let's start out today with something really funny. So apparently during 2020, these Cuban Donald Trump supporters made this song. for Donald Trump. And apparently Donald Trump like reposted it recently as like an apology to all the Puerto Ricans. He's like, I'm so sorry, Puerto Ricans. I love you so much. Here's some Latinos. They're kind of like you. They sound like Puerto Ricans. He was like, I'm so sorry for what I said about your trash island. I'm so sorry. Por Donald Trump. Now I gotta tell you guys, I voted against Donald Trump today. This was my first vote ever. Cause last time I wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders. And you know how that went. Bernie Sanders got screwed over. He got screwed over the presidency and they gave it to fucking dying corpse Biden. But yeah, this is my first year voting, and like I voted against Donald Trump, and I want him to go to jail. I hope they put him in the same cell they put Jeffrey Epstein in. It's a catchy ass song, I'm not gonna lie, but we're voting against Donald Trump. It's a very catchy song, but we're voting against Donald Trump, not for him. Remember, guys, he's not a good man. He's not a good man. You don't wanna vote for that man. Hell no. Por Trump. Por Trump.
No sé tú, pero yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. Ay, 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 por Dios. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump, por Donald Trump. Ay, ay.
You guys feel way better about voting for Kamala now? I do. This song makes it way better. My mom got her passport. She got her first passport in like 20 years. It takes that long in this shitty country to get a fucking passport.
Donald Trump, la buena vida,
Por Trump.
la economía.
Por Trump.
No sé tú, pero yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. Ay, 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 por Dios. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump.
Remember, yo voy a votar por Donald Trump para que vaya a la cárcel. We're voting for Donald Trump to go to jail, okay? And it's the same jail they put Jeffrey Epstein in. You gotta keep saying that so people remember.
Ay, 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 por Dios. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. Si tú te sientes orgulloso de ser cubano y americano, sube las manos. Si tú te sientes orgulloso de ser cubano y americano,
Bro, this music video is like the most fucking cheap Etsy, Fiverr, you know what I mean? Like free internet clips.
las manos. Ay, 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 por
Look at that Trump figure.
Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. Ay, 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 por Dios. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. Déjate guiar, vota por Trump, pero no seas tan cabezón. Yo voy a votar Ay, por Dios. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump.
Well, there was this part of like, there was this catchy part. I don't know if it's in this song though. It might be in the other one. I don't know. Oh my god. Okay. Let's move on. Let's try to find something, some decent coverage. I want to check on war's coming. I want to check up on that Donald Trump Madison Square Garden rally. And then I want to check out all the other shit that happened after that. Donald Trump Madison Square Garden. Cause that's where he said that's where he told that's where the stupid comedian said that like Puerto Rico's a floating island of garbage, which is like, wow, what a great fucking campaign message to end it off, huh? What a great message to end it all off. These stupid assholes, man. I'm sure Kyle Kalinske has a good video on it. Secular talk. Let's see. Where's the Madison Square Garden from? Madison Square Garden. Come on, Madison Square Garden. Where you at? Here you go.
A lot of stuff to get to. Everybody do me a big favor. Please like and subscribe. Absolutely disastrous Trump rally at MSG. It backfired in his face colossally. Got a lot to say about that. Got a lot of clips to show you.
What do you got to say, Kyle? What do you got to
We also have
say?
some early voting numbers and
Tell me, Kyle, what you got to say, boy.
some late polls, and both of those things, if I'm being honest, look really, really good for
Tell me,
Kamala.
Kyle,
I'll break
tell
all that
me.
down for you. Then we have J.D. Vance.
Dude, Kyle Kalinski's so hot. Look at him. I love his hair. He's such a sexy man. I love his. Oof. 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 Don't even get me started, boys.
And Jake Tapper
Don't you even get
having
me
a
started
heated
on Kyle.
debate and throwing down on CNN. Bill Maher has officially lost his mind. Trump's 2024.
By the way, I couldn't find my red hat. I have a red hat somewhere. You guys know that red hat I usually have? I couldn't find that shit. I hope I'm not washing it. And if it does get put to the wash, I hope it doesn't mess up the red tint.
Election rigging has begun. Got some amazing stories on that front. Washington Post was banned from endorsing Kamala Harris, even though the writers wanted to endorse Kamala Harris, because the billionaire owner Jeff Bezos stepped in and barred them. Just incredible, incredible story of corruption. Because why is Bezos doing it? Very simply, he wants tax cuts from Trump. He wants subsidies from Trump. He wants government contracts. If Trump
Bitch
wins,
ass
he doesn't want
Bezos.
retribution. He doesn't want to get on Trump's bad side. So he's handcuffing the media in order to make that be the case. Really, really pathetic stuff. Then we'll get into Stephen A. Smith dog walk Sean Hannity on his own show. That's fun. And Charlemagne and Anderson Cooper over on CNN go to war over Trump. That's awesome as well. So, again, got a lot of stuff to get to. Everybody do me a big favor. Please like and subscribe to the channel. If you do anything, subscribe. It helps out massively in the algorithm. It costs you absolutely nothing. I truly, truly appreciate it. And, of course, a massive thank you to everybody who supports the show on Patreon. We couldn't do it without you guys. Unlike many other outlets, we are actual independent media. We make our money from you guys donating $2 a month or $5 a month or $7 a month. So we make our money through Patreon. We make our money through the default ads on YouTube. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser. I've never had a conversation with a billionaire. I've never had a conversation with a foreign government. So
Yeah, Kyle Kalinske don't take that Russian money like Tim Pool or any other of these fucking dumbass right-wingers like Anna Kasparian's going towards the right. Dave Rubin was one of those dumbass right-wingers that took money Jimmy Dores, another dumbass right winger that took money.
We are actual independent media, unlike almost everybody else in this space now. I mean, so-called new media or independent media is just a cesspool. You just have new corporate media. That's what it is. So forgive me if I'm a little fed up with so-called independent media sucking themselves off on a daily basis and acting like they're better than corporate media when the same perverse incentives now exist for you guys. And you've seen that a lot lately with certain interviews that certain political candidates were on, if I don't say so myself. So, again, a lot to get into, and let's go ahead and do it. So, this Trump MSG rally, man, this was an epic disaster. This was an epic disaster. So I'm going to get to the headlines in a little bit of, what the dominant narratives are coming out of this. But first, let me say, why is Trump doing an event at Madison Square Garden in New York? New York is not a swing state. Well, look, I have a theory on that. I think the reason why Trump has done a lot of campaign rallies in non-swing states, he's doing them in blue states, is because he's trying to put out there this aura of invincibility. He's trying to put out there this idea, we don't even need to campaign in the swing states because we're going to win those easy. What we're going to do is try to make blue states red states. And so, look, it's all part of the framework by which he turns around after the election if he loses and says, bro, it was obviously stolen again. This was obviously fraudulent. I mean, look, we were so sure we were going to win the swing states. We were campaigning in blue states because we thought we could flip those. And we had a big lead, and the lead went away when they started cheating. You had vote dumps at 3 a.m. So, look, it's going to be recycled from 2020. We saw it then. He's already hinting, if not outright saying, he's going to do the exact same thing this time. And I don't know for the life of me why more people aren't talking about this. That he's basically broadcasting, I am going to try to steal the election again if I lose. So I think that's why he's doing it. Now, here's the problem for Trump. Trump's biggest political liability is that when people look at him, they think, he's kind of extreme. He's kind of wacky. He's kind of out there. He's kind of chaotic. He's not normal. He's extreme. This is what people think. And the evidence of that, of course, is the 2022 midterms and the special election since then. The more Trumpy the candidate, the worse they do in the election. And so they are tarred with overturning Roe v. Wade. They are tarred with being election deniers. Americans look at them and go, look, you're just kind of extreme. So when Trump went on,
I gotta get to like a gym routine, guys, because I really want to look like Hassan. I want to look buff as fuck with a small head. You know what I mean? I want to look like the Witcher. Honestly, that would be like my most beautiful, my inner self. I want that Witcher look.
Rogan, that was a good example of like he's trying to appear normal.
I think I could do it. Look, let's look at the Witcher real quick. Let's see. Look, the Witcher. Bro, you telling me I don't got that in me? Look at me. Bro. You telling me I don't got the Witcher in me, bro? Look at this. I got that. I mean, my jawline isn't exactly like his, or I mean, look at the video game version too. Like, my jawline is a little more pokey. It's a little more sharp. Yeah. I don't know, bro. I think I could pull the Witcher look off. I really want to try it. Anyways, but besides that, let's get back to politics. He's trying to appear like a human being. He's trying to just bro out and shit and giggle with an interviewer. So that was in the vein of what, in theory, he should be doing with his campaign. But then, immediately after that, he does this MSG rally and destroys it all. Why do I say that? Because this was MAGA on steroids and human growth hormone. It was all of the weirdness and the extremism of MAGA put front and center right before the election. This was a horrible strategic misstep. So let's start with this. The comedian Tony Hinchcliffe opened at Madison Square Garden here for the Trump rally. And boy, oh boy, have a lot of his clips gone viral for all the wrong reasons. So let's start with this one.
Welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this.
Bro, what a whack fucking joke. How are you gonna have a anti-immigrant joke that's that whack? Oh, we welcome immigrants like this. Come on, bro. You serious?
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor.
That's a really funny thing to say when not many people laughed at your joke, right? I want you to take note of something. The whole idea that we hear about comedians these days, bro, they're brave truth tellers and there's nothing is sacred. They'll go anywhere, bro. They don't care who they're pissing off. He's at a Trump rally campaigning for Trump, and every single one of his jokes takes aim at people MAGA hate.
Yup.
That is not brave. That is the exact opposite of brave. All right, I got more for you.
Heck yeah, it's cool. Black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
Speaking at a Trump rally, going after Latinos and going after black folks. But I got more for you.
Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody.
So again, take note. He's kind of bombing. Do you know how racist your jokes have to be to bomb at a Trump rally? God damn, son. Now, understand, just from a raw political perspective, the election is about to happen. Guys, there are hundreds of thousands of Puerto Rican voters in Pennsylvania, one of the most crucial swing states. There's a lot of Puerto Rican voters all across this country, and of course, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, right? So now you have all these big-name celebrity Puerto Ricans coming out and ripping Trump and his campaign and backing Kamala. It was an immense strategic misstep to do this. But also, after all this stuff came out, what did Tony Hinchcliffe do? He goes on Twitter and he starts firing shots at his critics, right? Like AOC criticized.
Bro, I'm just comedy, bro. This is comedy. This is comedy. You guys can't do this to me. Yeah, he just starts crying. Tony Bitchcliffe.
Tim Walz criticized him. There's a lot of criticism going around, a lot of articles written about this. And what does he do? He does the old comedian two-step. Namely, bro, you guys can't even take a joke, bro.
It's comedy, bro.
I'm a comedian, bro. This is what I do. I make fun of everybody, bro. No, you didn't. You made fun of MAGA's top targets. That's who you made fun of. You didn't go in front of a group of Republicans and make fun of Republicans. Weird. You didn't do that. Very funny, right? So that's what he does. He gets up there and starts deflecting and obfuscating, and it's all, well, you guys can't even take a joke. You can't even take a joke. Here's the problem with that, Tony. You are not a comedian at a comedy club doing your thing. You are a comedian campaigning for Donald Trump at a Trump rally. You are expressly in the lane of politics now. So it is some chicken shit, weasel, cowardly bullshit to do your edgy jokes that you know are edgy and racist, and then turn around when you get criticism and be like, bro, why are you criticizing me, bro? I'm just telling jokes at a Trump rally campaigning for Donald Trump. Did you know he ends his set by just repeating Trump slogans? Just overtly and obviously super political. He's campaigning for Donald Trump. So the part about this that is the most infuriating is we've now hit, like, this is peak bullshit, hack, edgy comedy, where, like, the point is to be racist. The point is to cross the line, and then you cry and whine and bitch and moan when people point out, hey, that kind of crosses the line. Hey, that's actually super racist. Hey, that's actually fucked up.
Bro,
It's like, no, if you're going to say
speech,
it,
bro?
don't
Like,
hide behind the I'm a comedian shit. Say it with your chest, and then own it afterwards. When people start coming after you, tell them how you really feel. But yeah, I do think Puerto Rico's garbage. Say it. Just say it. At least then you'd be honest. The idea, oh, we're just joking, bro. We don't mean it. No, you fucking mean it. You mean all of it. You know you mean it. So that's the part of this that's most infuriating, is not that he told the racist, edgy jokes. It's you're campaigning for Donald Trump, and then when you get called out, you're like, bro, why are you attacking me? I'm just a comedian. You're campaigning for Donald Trump. So it's just, I'm so sick of this is what comedy has sort of morphed into these days, is this idea of they need to change it from comedian. The whole idea of a comedian is I'm going to make you laugh. Now it's like they are racing to just try to be the most offensive for the sake of being the most offensive. And it's like, that doesn't require that much skill. Anybody can go in front of a room and say the most racist shit they could think of. And then when they get called out for it, play the victim and say, oh, cancel culture. And oh, I'm just a comedian, bro. Again, you're not in a comedy club. You're opening up a Donald Trump rally. So say it and own it, and don't be a weasel about it and a coward about it.
Bro,
So
I really think Joe Rogan, who recommended this guy, I think Joe Rogan saved Kamala Harris. I think Joe Rogan just ruined Donald Trump's career. I think Joe Rogan got Kamala to win if Kamala wins. Joe Rogan, the women, and Puerto Ricans and Latinos. That's it.
this was one of the bigger stories that came out of the rally. Now I'll show you this clip. This is Elon Musk now going to a bunch of Trump events, and he gives us this gem of a line.
I'm not just MAGA. I'm dark, gothic MAGA.
He's not just MAGA. He's dark, gothic MAGA.
More like dark gothic cringe. If you guys don't know, gothic is an art style or an architecture style. It's a German style that started around the... Uh-oh, my camera. Oh yeah, gothic started around the Nazi era. So,
yeah, man. This definitely doesn't have angsty 14-year-old boy vibes. Unfuckable dork nerd vibes. All right, more. So this is some of the other highfalutin, very intellectual content that we saw.
In fact, she is the devil, whoever screamed that out. She is the Antichrist.
Calling Hillary Clinton the devil and the Antichrist. Tulsi Gabbard also spoke and did her normal bullshit about how the Democratic Party is now the party of war and the Republican Party is now the party of peace. I think that's what pisses me off about these guys the most, is that everything is based on a myth. Everything is based on a falsehood. Do I despise Hillary Clinton for being a warmonger? Absolutely. But they pretend to despise Hillary Clinton for being a warmonger, but then they back their own warmonger. They back Donald Trump. Who bombed Syria twice, who tried to coup Venezuela,
who loves
who ripped up the
Netanyahu,
Iran agreement, who killed Qasem Soleimani,
who loves
who increased drone
Israel.
strikes 400%. You are not anti-war. If you're backing Donald Trump, that is not anti-war. By the way, they go after Hillary like crazy. Weird. They don't say a single goddamn word about Tom Cotton, the neocon's neocon, who Trump said he might put as Secretary of Defense or Secretary of State. They don't talk about Lindsey Graham, the neocon's neocon, who's backing Trump. They don't talk about Mike Pompeo, who Trump just glazed when he was on Joe Rogan's show. He's, again, the neocon's neocon. He's the guy who tried to kill Julian Assange. He's the guy who bragged about lying and cheating and stealing when he was the head of the CIA.
Yup.
So I don't want to hear it, right? I don't want to hear it. And of course, they have to take it a step too far and go to supernatural terms. And Hillary is the Antichrist and she's the devil. No, she could just be a warmonger, war criminal, right? And I'm against her for that reason. But these people pretend to be against her for that reason. But they're not, because they support their own warmongers. All right, more. Here we go. Got some more Hillary Clinton love for you.
She is some sick bastard, that Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a bitch. The whole fucking party, a bunch of degenerates, lowlives, Jew haters, and lowlives. Every one of them. Every one of them.
If there was a speaker at a Democratic rally who talked about Republicans like this guy just talked about Democrats, it'd be the leading news in the country. And every single Republican in the country, elected Republican, would be playing the victim.
My man sounds like Count Dracula. Like, what the fuck?
Would be talking about how extreme the Democrats are, would be talking about how much they hate bipartisanship and they don't want to work together and they don't believe in the United States of America. They just believe in a blue America over a red America. Look, the Hillary Clinton deplorable line. landed in that sort of way. She said about half of Trump supporters are deplorables and the other half are potentially reachable. And that became, oh my God, how dare she? She called us deplorables. That's unbelievable. She hates half the country, blah, 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 right? Here he is going after all Democrats. All Democrats are degenerates. Hillary Clinton is a sick son of a bitch. You know, you could not castigate and put down Democrats in any more definitive terms than this guy did. And it will barely be a blip in the radar, right? No, hardly anybody will talk about it. And again, this is a little over a week before an election. And when you're supposed to be reaching out the most to moderates and independents and apolitical people and swing voters.
Jew haters and lowlives.
That's what you're supposed to be doing. And instead, what are they doing?
Blah, blah, blah.
The whole fucking party. What a sick son of a
blah,
bitch.
Blah, blah, blah.
Party, a bunch of degenerates, lowlives, Jew haters and lowlives. Every one of them. Every one of them. So that's what they think of you. I need you to understand that. That's what they think of you. If you are not 100% in agreement with the MAGA cult, if you don't shut your brain off and follow them like a lemming off the cliff, this is what they think of you.
10 days from now, to look in the eye to America with a straight face, it's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever to be elected president, it was just a groundswell of popular support. And anyone who thinks otherwise is just a freak or a criminal.
I remember when Republicans used to talk all the time about identity politics and how much they were against it, and how Democrats are obsessed with identity. I haven't heard Kamala Harris say a single word this campaign about her race. I've heard her say nothing.
Yeah, like that's one thing Hillary Clinton did a lot. Like Hillary Clinton was like, I'm a woman. I'm the first woman. I broke the glass ceiling. I'm a woman. But Kamala Harris has not really been doing that at all. She's been chilling. She's actually just been running on achievements and stuff. And, you know, she has been saying a lot of stuff like, oh, I like what Biden was doing. But, like, I hope she, like, dumps that motherfucker overboard as soon as she's able to.
About her race. I've heard her talk about freedom. I've heard her talk about patriotism. I've heard her try to reach out to more reasonable Republicans. I've heard that. I've heard her talk about policy and the $6,000 child tax credit and having Medicare have home care covered under Medicare. I've heard that. I haven't heard her say a single goddamn word about race. And when people bring up to her, like, you know, ask her what she thinks of the other side, she says, look, I'm not entitled to anybody's vote. I have to earn everybody's vote. That's the shit that she's saying. Look at the shit that they're saying. Donald Trump, every other interview, he can't help himself, and he does the whole, like, is she Indian? Is she Indian or is she black? She used to be Indian. Now she's black. Which is it? Which is it? Let's talk more about her race endlessly. And here's Tucker Carlson calling her Samoan, Malaysian, and then low IQ. Again, yeah, real good politics here. Real good strategy. Just call your opponent, you know, an idiot. Just call them stupid. That should be a sufficient enough argument to win you the election. Talk more about, you know, what her background is, what her ethnicity is, what her race is. Republicans cannot shut the fuck up about race, and Democrats haven't said a goddamn word about race, even in the slightest. So I need you to remember that. I need you to understand that. So tell me who the identity politics obsessed are. Because look, call it what it is. Trump is, he's running a white identity politics campaign. That's what it is. That's what it is. So they actually love identity politics. They just want to do their version of identity politics. Here we have Hulk Hogan. He did his whole
brother.
His whole routine. Listen to what he had to say about Kamala.
But when I hear Kamala speak, it sounds...
Kamala.
Yeah. It sounds like
it's Kamala
from Hollywood with a really, really bad actress.
When he hears Kamala speak, it sounds like a script from Hollywood. First of all, Hulk Hogan had... one of the characters he played was called Hollywood Hulk Hogan. That's point number one. Point number two, you are doing your whole shtick right now. You're doing your whole acting shtick right now. Point number three, I don't know if you call it, he does a Hawk Tua. You know what that's in reference to, right? That's a sly reference to the idea that Kamala Harris, the only reason she got
sucking
what she is
dick
because she slept her way to the top. It's a reference to Willie Brown. You know, they've done fake pictures of Kamala Harris with P. Diddy, for example. They've done fake pictures of Kamala Harris with Epstein. Those ones I find the most incredible because there are real pictures of Donald Trump with Epstein. There was a story that just came out about how him and Epstein were besties and they had a sexual abuse game that they played together. A model in 1993 told a very detailed story which follows Trump's MO, the whole grab him by the pussy thing.
Yeah.
And him and Trump and Epstein were good friends and they had a sexual abuse game they played together. But the right is doing fake pictures of Kamala Harris and Hulk Hogan.
All they do is fake. All they do.
So, I mean, what is there to say about this? This is all they have these days, guys. This is all they have. All right, then we get to Rudy Giuliani. I don't even know how many crimes he's been convicted of this point, but I know they're seizing a bunch of his assets for the defamation case. Remember when he did defamation and slander against these poor women who were working at the ballot box, and he lied about them and acted like they were stealing the election. By the way, this is one of the masterminds of Trump's attempt to call the last election fraudulent. And then as soon as he got in front of a court, you know what he said? We're not even alleging election fraud. Because you actually have to prove your case in court, obviously it would fall apart, so he had to back off of his maximalist claims. Well, here's what he said at the rally.
Hamas is not there for us. Iran is not there for us. They want to kill us. And the Palestinians are taught to kill us at 2 years old. They won't let a Palestinian in Jordan. They won't let a Palestinian in Egypt. And Harris wants to bring them to you.
Just imagine a little fucking toddler. Pulls out an AK. Fucking kills you. So stupid, bro. This guy's a fucking retard. All these people are dumb fucks.
They may have good people. I'm sorry I don't take a risk with people that are taught to kill Americans at 2. I'm on the side of Israel.
Wow.
You're on the side of Israel. Donald Trump's on the side of Israel. And they're on the side of the terrorists.
Can they make it any more clear? They are broadcasting and screaming through a megaphone that as bad as Biden has been on Gaza, we're going to be worse. We can't wait to be worse. We love the idea of being worse. We think the problem with Biden is he's held Bibi back too much. We want him to finish the job. Trump uses the word Palestinian as a slur. He says he wants to deport pro-Palestine protesters. He just took $100 million from Miriam Adelson with the quid pro quo of, now you have to let Israel annex the entire West Bank. Trump just said the other day he talks to Bibi on a regular basis.
Yep.
And Trump has said publicly, Bibi should not listen to any time Biden tries to hold him back in any way, shape, or form, he shouldn't listen. And here's Rudy Giuliani saying Democrats are on the side of the terrorists, which is his way of saying just Palestinian. He thinks they're all terrorists. He's making that very clear right here. So in the midst of a genocide where over 50,000 Palestinians have been murdered by Israel in cold blood, this is the language that's coming out at the Trump rally.
Fuck, man.
Look, you got to call a spade a spade. This looks and seems very similar to that. What was it? What year was the Nazi rally that happened at MSG?
It's like 1938, 1939.
Like. Now let's get to the big man himself. The big man himself.
I know many of them. It's just this amorphous group of people. But they're smart and they're vicious. And we have to defeat them. And when I say the enemy from within, the other side goes crazy. Becomes a sound. Oh, how can he say? No, they've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within. But this is who we're fighting.
So now this is what, the 4th time, 5th time? He's doubled down.
Bro, they want to kill me, guys. They want to kill me and a bunch of other leftists, activists, protesters. They want to imprison me and kill me. Because he's a fucking fascist. He's a fascist. I'm like a socialist. I'm like a sock damn, you know what I mean, socialist leaning person. But he's a fucking fascist and he's gonna kill all of us. All of us.
Down on the idea of the enemy within, namely being Democrats and people who are not on board with MAGA. In fact, he's even made clear in other interviews, oh, I'm not even talking about the illegal immigrants now. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people in this country who are not MAGA. He brings up Democratic politicians and says they are the enemy within. All right, more. Here we go.
I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Think of that. That's how far back That's when they had law and order. They had some tough ones. Think of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. You hear that, Mr. Speaker? Get ready.
Bragging about bringing back a law from 1798, back when they had law and order. Because, you know, in 1798, everything was peachy in this country. That was when we had more justice. Jesus Christ, this is dark. By the way, it's only under Trump that you start hearing about these laws you never heard about previously, like the Insurrection Act. Remember when you had George Floyd riots and protests, and you wanted to invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy the U.S. military in our own streets against Americans? Remember that? And then he famously said behind the scenes, why can't you just shoot the protesters in the leg? This is what he wants to do. The Alien Enemies Act of 1798, and what he wants to do, he's already said he's bragging about it. I want to do a mass deportation of over 10 million people. Do you have any idea what that looks like? Any idea? And let's be clear, these people who you'd be deporting, it's not like they're all MS-13 violent criminals. These are like grandmas and nephews and nieces and uncles and people who work full-time jobs and people who are just trying to provide for their family and create a better life for themselves, and they're the lifeblood of the U.S. economy. It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. More. Here we go.
It's not easy when you have a majority of 3. But he's done a great job, and he's going to continue to do a great job, and we like him. He's a terrific person. I watched him just totally decapitate a fake reporter on NBC, Meet the Fake Press. What he did to her was, I think that probably she'll never be the same.
All right, so going after reporters some more, and then we have this.
And that's what happened. 82 years. Other than I finished off ISIS, but that was already started. We had stupid generals like Milley and Mattis, weak, stupid people.
All right, now let's be clear. Why is he going after Milley and Mattis, and why has he been going after Kelly recently? The answer is simple, because these are the 3 top administration
Weak,
officials
stupid people.
who came out and said in no uncertain terms, he's a fascist. One of them said he's, quote, a fascist to the core. Kelly came out and told a story about Trump praising Hitler's generals and saying, why can't you be more like Hitler's generals? So that is why he's against these people, because they're telling the truth about who Trump is and what he wants to do. They know he tried to steal the last election. They know he cannot be trusted with power. They know he wants no checks and balances, full loyalists around him, the unitary executive theory, so anything he says goes. They called him out for that. Now, the dodge I've seen when people bring up this point is, bro, he's just mad at the generals because, like, the generals wanted to stay in the wars and he wanted to get out of the wars. That 100% is not what this is about. Not even close. And let's be clear, we also know he's not anti-war because very famously, since Biden pulled out of Afghanistan, Trump changed the tune completely, and he rips Biden for getting out of Afghanistan. And he keeps saying we should have kept Bagram Air Base. Okay, but that means that we're not ending the war. If we still have thousands of U.S. troops and a giant U.S. base in Afghanistan, that is not ending the war. So it's got nothing to do with ending wars. This is the guy who bombed Syria twice. This is the guy who tried to coup Venezuela. This is the guy who ripped up the Iran agreement. This is the guy who massively increased the drone war. The idea he's anti-war is garbage. It is not true. He just shoots from the hip and says whatever the fuck he thinks is going to get him elected, then he does what he wants, right? So he's not attacking these people because they're pro-war and Trump's anti-war. No, not even close. He's attacking these people because they called out the fact that he's a fascist and he's an authoritarian and he cannot be trusted with power. That's why he's going after them. So, look, this rally was horrible. And I'll show you some of the headlines that are coming out. So here we have CNN. Speakers at Trump rally make racist comments, hurl insults. Racist remarks and insults mark Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. Trump rally speakers invoke racist tropes in denouncing Harris. Vance defends Trump's enemies within comment. Comedian Tony Hinchcliffe performs wildly racist set at Trump rally in New York City. Yeah. And now he's trying to do the old comedian two-step and hide behind, bro, I'm just a comedian. I'm just making jokes. Then get your ass back in the fucking comedy club if you're just a comedian and you're just making jokes. You're not just a comedian. Now you are campaigning at a Trump rally for Donald Trump. It's a different ballgame now, son. It's a different ballgame now.
Okay, a few more minutes. Let's check this out.
We will be streaming tonight on YouTube as well as Twitch and on TikTok probably live as well.
We won't be able to do TikTok without this extra setup here because of their OBS requirements, but everywhere else we should be.
And that is all.
I'll try to watch that. I'll try to watch that. Oh my God, I will vote. Oh, whatever vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. Another vote for Donald Trump. God damn, my computer's slow, yo.
We will be streaming tonight on YouTube as well as Twitch and on TikTok probably live as well.
We won't be able to do TikTok without this extra setup here because of their OBS requirements, but everywhere else we should be.
And that is all a function of sunsetlakesabada.com. They have made it possible for us. There were changes at the venue. In the past, I think we recorded or we did it live. I can't remember, but you know, we'll get into the antitrust situation. But like, you know, the big conglomerate, what is it they called?
Live Nation?
Live Nation now owns this venue and but
rights.
Yeah. Well, it's just like they don't. You know how it works with these large companies come in and all they care about is the bottom line. So they don't have the same staffing levels that they had before for this type of stuff. But be that as it may, it's still a great venue. But
it'll be a fun time.
Oh yeah.
And the people who work there are great. It's just not as many of them.
I'll need to not spill beer on the streaming computer.
That's right.
We'll rig it to figure that out.
And Francesca Fiorentini will be with us tonight. She's about 4,000 subscribers short of 100,000. Head over, subscribe to her channel.
The
that would be exciting.
Bitchuation Room.
Yep.
She was awesome on Piers Morgan yesterday. I saw a quick clip just to plug that. She was like, okay, we'll all condemn everybody here. Everybody sitting here will condemn whoever called Donald Trump Hitler. So will you join me in condemning Trump for saying that he wanted Hitler's generals? It was like a really fun sleight of hand. So that was a preview of, she did great. People should watch the whole appearance.
All right, let's get into this. It's yesterday was the final day of campaigning, although, of course, they continue getting on the trail today. And there is a sense now. Again, look, we will probably give our predictions at the end of the show today. Let's do it that way.
Sure.
But there is definitely an interesting dynamic where Donald Trump is not able, in the way that Dave Weigel said yesterday, to at least, make the case that he had all the enthusiasm. And, Joe Biden, we know, basically campaigned in the general from his house in 2020. Hillary Clinton was not necessarily driving the same level of enthusiasm as Donald Trump. Donald Trump was filling up stadiums. People are excited. He's the new flavor of the day. Here's a sense of like, you're closing out and you're going into a stadium that seats like what, like 12,000? Would you say this one? I don't know. I'm taking a guess. This is in Pittsburgh. This is the PG, I guess, arena. Is that what they call it?
PPG Paints Arena. It's a little under 20,000 capacity.
Okay, little under 20,000 capacity.
They got 5 there?
And here is now
This
not
is
only
before it started, so we could be fair. There's a video though below. To show.
Okay, right. But did they ever get up to the upper deck? Because
no, the upper deck is completely closed. They're not
curtained off. They say the reporter, yeah.
And
that's where the majority of seats are, just by how
100%.
circles work.
Mr. Geometry over here. And so let's do we have the video after this?
It's just right down there in the thread.
There is a here it is. Now, what's interesting about this video is you're at the middle, and they it gets a little sparse in the back there.
Anyone want to see the back?
So it goes,
This is mid-rally, though. So, that was as people were filtering in before it started. It doesn't seem like...
It's basically 3/4 of the bottom of half of it. Now, I can't do the math there. What's 3/4 of half? Like 1/3? So, I mean, and it's a 20,000 person stadium. Like, on the last day of the campaign, in probably the key swing state of Pennsylvania, he draws 7,000. But at the least, these guys were so engaged. Let's check out this Good Liars video to get a sense of just how engaged people were.
Trump still speaking?
Yeah.
You guys leaving early? You guys leaving early?
Yeah.
Taking off? Hey, you guys leaving early?
Yeah.
All right. Leaving the rally early?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys leaving early?
Yeah.
You guys leaving early?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys taking off a little bit early?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys leaving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you decide to leave early?
I've heard it before.
Heard it before? It's kind of boring. Yeah. Trump.
So good.
Gonna enjoy it now. Obviously, if Donald Trump wins, it's gonna be short-lived enjoyment. But if Donald Trump loses, we could play that every day for the next year and a half.
If he loses, it's going to be a really fun time. And no mercy for these Republicans who are already so confident. They're so confident in this campaign that hasn't decided to appeal to moderate voters or swing voters at all. Let's see how that works out for you.
Well, what strikes me is I'm sorry, that Good Liars video is from outside of North Carolina. And Libertarian Swifty says it's not that big, and for it to be mostly empty is crazy.
Well,
that was the Good Liars video as he's walking, as people are leaving. I mean, that's the vibe that is out there at this point. And the one thing that we heard over and over again about, that Joe Biden stole the election was like, how is it possible that Joe Biden won when he couldn't get anybody going to a rally?
Hello?
And the bottom line is like how many people are at a rally is really not an indication of much.
No,
especially in a global pandemic.
And particularly in a global pandemic, when you have one party that thought it was fake, and led to the death of probably anywhere from like 500,000 to 700,000 more deaths than would have had our government taken it seriously from the beginning. So it's not necessarily indicative of that, and nor is like absentee voting in that year, nor is crime rates for that matter. But nevertheless, the point is that there's a couple of different dynamics happening with this election. One is obviously who wins. The other is in what fashion. How big of a win is it? I don't know if Kamala Harris is going to win in Iowa, but if she does, it's a very, very different election than if she just ekes out in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. it will mean something different relative to, I think, like the chances that we could control Congress and Senate. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in a mandate, that like the idea of a mandate. You win, you win. If you win, you get a mandate. But the difference is it's going to really fundamentally change the way that the Republicans themselves in districts that, blood red districts are not going to change. The dynamics are not going to change. They're going to be just like they've been and head in that trajectory. But if the purple districts and like ones that are not even, Iowa's not really purple. I don't know what the color is. Maybe it's like more plum than purple. But if a place like Iowa swings to Kamala Harris, it's going to create there's going to be a real civil war in the Republican Party. If she wins like Biden did, which again, remember, he won, 303 electoral votes, but it was really like 40,000 votes could have swung a different way.
Biden,
in about four or five states, and
he won Arizona by like only around a little over 10,000, Georgia by under 12K. I mean, these were significant states for him,
and a couple of thousand votes relative to the 130 million people that are going to be expected to vote.
140 million people voted last time. Yeah, or 154 million voted last time.
So, you got a mandate if you win, as far as I'm concerned. But if it's the same type of margin or less than Biden, if Harris wins, I don't think the Republican Party in any way, they may have a hiccup and then they go forward. If they lose a place like Iowa, then you're going to really see a legit, what do you call it? A meltdown.
Yeah, I mean, look, like, in which, God, we pray for a meltdown. But, like, this is, in 2022, they underestimated women and the backlash to Roe for the midterms. And my view is that this is still an underestimation of that rage. The story is going to be independent women, in my view, independent white women, but independent women more broadly, just because of the states that matter, that like Iowa, for example, that's a heavily white state. And there all indications are that in the South, that black voter turnout is exactly very similar to Biden, right? And there was a lot of tough talk from the Trump campaign that they were going to make all these gains with black voters, and it hasn't shown up thus far. But we'll see. We'll see. I've felt more confident than what the national pollsters have said for quite a while, but I don't want to count my chickens before they roost.
James Darwin on the IM said, Sam, remember how in 2012 the Monday morning quarterbacking from the Republicans was that they will have a come to Jesus moment, needed to moderate the message about the border. Didn't happen. It lasted for about 2 months. Yeah. And I remember Sean Hannity in particular saying like, oh my gosh, we really have to really rethink about the way that we are treating immigrants. And now, of course, it went the opposite way. And in fact, they ended up, in my estimation, dragging the Democrats to the right on that, at least in the context of this campaign. Under the Biden administration, in many respects, I think did that. We'll see where it goes if the Democrats win. If the Republicans
All right, guys, I already have some massive election updates for you. We just got our first exit polls that came in, and it's beginning to paint a pretty clear picture. And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but it seems like the picture I've been painting for you guys for weeks now. So before I get to that, though, Trump's at it again, man. Trump is at it again. He took to Truth Social, and he's already laying the groundwork. He says, a lot of talk about massive cheating in Philadelphia. Law enforcement coming. You also have Alex Jones saying he's covering Democratic election fraud live. So they're already starting because they know, as I'm about to demonstrate for you, the numbers really, really do not look good for them. And I warned you guys about this red mirage scenario. It's going to look early on in the night like Trump is winning and the Republicans are doing well because they count most of the election day numbers are counted first, and that skews more pro-Republican, but then the mail-in ballots are usually counted second, and that skews more Democrat, so it'll look like Trump and the Republicans are up, and then the Democrats will come back and win. I'm really, really hoping that we don't even have a red mirage today to avoid a hell of a lot of trouble, right? Because if at any moment he's up, even if it's like 26% of the votes counted, he's going to come out and he's going to declare victory, and he's going to try to get all the Republicans to fall in line. He's going to try to make the media kowtow in fear, and he's going to try to steal it, right? So I hope we don't even have the opportunity for a red mirage scenario that allows him to come out and fakely declare victory. But he's already working on the bogus election fraud bullshit. Again, he said, a lot of talk about massive cheating in Philadelphia. Law enforcement is coming. Okay, so exit polls. All right, listen to this. This is huge, guys. This is huge. So in the NBC exit poll, the number one issue, according to voters, 35% of them say democracy is my top issue. 31% say the economy. 14% say abortion. 11% say immigration. And 4% say foreign policy. So the number one issue, being democracy, is absolutely devastating for Trump. Another thing that's devastating is there are more people who are abortion voters than there are immigration voters. Those two facts are really, really rough for Trump and the Republicans. That does not bode well for them moving forward. So here's another number that is actually a very good number for Kamala, even though you might not think so if you look at it and you don't know the backstory. But who do you trust to handle the economy more? Trump 51%, Kamala Harris 47%. Now, again, you could be forgiven for looking at that and saying, wait a second, a 4-point lead for Trump. That seems good for Trump on that issue. That's wrong. So there's only two issues where the Republicans have a real built-in advantage, where they usually are up double digits. That's immigration and that's the economy. For Trump to only be up 4 when it comes to the economy over Kamala is really not good for them. All right. More. This one is just about satisfaction. Unsurprisingly, 43% of the country is dissatisfied, 29% are angry, and only 19% are satisfied. Now, those numbers obviously are horrible, but in terms of, hey, does this help Kamala or Trump more, I wouldn't read too much into that. We don't have clean lines in this election. It's not like an incumbent versus a non-incumbent. The lines are all skewed because Trump was president for 4 years and Kamala's never been president. So who is even blamed for the state of the country? You could say Joe Biden, but Joe Biden is not Kamala Harris. Or you could even say Trump, because a lot of his policies led us to where we are now. So I wouldn't read too much into that. Who do you trust on the issue of abortion? Kamala 50, Trump 44. She's +6 on that. That's unsurprising. We have a Wisconsin exit poll. This is also very interesting. So in the swing state of Wisconsin, the number one issue is the economy, 35%. Number two is democracy, 32%. Then you have abortion at 18% and immigration at 9%. Again, overall, those numbers look much better for Kamala Harris than they do for Donald Trump. This one is kind of devastating for the big man. This one right here is devastating. Again, NBC News exit poll, opinion of Donald Trump. 44% favorable, 54% unfavorable. So he's -10. Now, I've yet to see the Kamala numbers, but my guess is it's going to be around even. She might be a point or two underwater or a point or two over water, but it's going to be about a 10-point difference between where Trump is and where Kamala is, and that is a big deal. All right, more. Georgia exit poll. This is huge, guys. The swing state of Georgia. Ready? Should abortion be legal? In the exit poll, NBC News, 62% yes, only 35% no. Again, brutal, brutal number for Trump. So I said before, Trump wasn't up nearly as much as he needs to be on the issue of the economy. It's a very similar thing for immigration. He should be up at least 10 on the issue of immigration. He's not. It is, who do you trust more to handle the issue of immigration? Again, NBC exit poll, Trump 53%, Kamala 46%. So again, these are the best issues for Trump, and he's barely up on Kamala. But now we have another one. This one's North Carolina, another crucial swing state, North Carolina. Again, NBC exit poll, is Trump too extreme? 51% say yes, 46% say no. Wow. 51% said yes in the swing state. Trump is too extreme. Okay. Oh, by the way, Harris's number, if you were curious on that, 49-49. It's a wash. He's -5. She's tied at a wash, 49-49. And then finally, I'll give you the state of democracy. So they broke it down by gender here, the most important issue. Listen to this. This is interesting. So the number one issue for women is democracy, 33%. For men, it's the number one issue as well at 36%. That's a shock. It's a shock having democracy above the economy for men. And again, that bodes well for Kamala. Some people are saying, hey, Trump tried to jujitsu that argument and say, actually, I'm going to save democracy. I don't think that these numbers reflect it's like a wash on the issue of democracy. That's definitely more of a built-in advantage for the Democrats, no matter how much they tried to jujitsu that issue and flip it. The number two most important issue, 28% of women said the economy, 34% of men said the economy. The number three for women is abortion at 19%. Number three for men is immigration at 12%. And then men had abortion at 8% and women had immigration at 10%. Another very good piece of news for Kamala is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the vote total is going to surpass the 2020 totals. So some precincts are as high as 150% the 2020 totals. With massively high turnout, again, this really does not bode well for Trump. We also have the overall gender numbers in the NBC, or I'm sorry, this one's a Reuters exit poll. The overall gender numbers, you ready? Women are 53% of the electorate, men are 47% of the electorate. And just to put that in perspective for you, that is, women being at 53 is up 1 point from what it was in 2020. And they were showing on MSNBC, they had, was at Temple University, I think, and they were showing the line. Some people were waiting literally 3 hours to vote, which, by the way, it's abysmal anybody has to wait 3 hours to vote. But it was like, I'm not kidding, the ratio was like 8 women for every 2 men. It was astronomical. All right, and for right now, that's all I got for you. But these are early exit poll numbers, and again, look, I would be the first one to come out here and say, hey, the data doesn't look good for Kamala or the Democrats, if the data didn't look good for Kamala or Democrats. But so far, everything I've seen is sort of on par with what my prediction video was the other day. What my low number for Kamala was, what my high number for Kamala was. I think the pollsters really screwed the pooch on this one, man. I think they massively underestimated the number of young people and the number of women that were going to come out. We had some little hints of that being true towards the end of the race, like the Iowa Seltzer poll, which had Kamala +3 in a state that's supposed to be Trump +10. That might be a real indication of what we're looking at right now. So, again, final point I'll make for this video here is, for the love of God, I do not want a red mirage to happen. Just so everybody knows, if it looks like Trump is up, I'm telling you in advance, early on it might look like he's up. But that is the red mirage. That will not last. As time goes by, more mail-in votes will come in. The number for Kamala and the Democrats will go up and up and up. But I really hope the victory is so strong that you don't even have a red mirage scenario, which doesn't even open the door for him to try to steal it and do his whole stop the count bullshit, right? So that's all I can say right now. But these early numbers, if you are in the Trump campaign, you're sort of shaking in your boots a little bit. You're sort of starting to desperately look for signs that this is going to go well for you. So there you have it. I'll talk to you guys later.
And peanut M&Ms, bursting with them.
Wrote in Jill Stein, Democrats down ballot. You influenced me, Paul. Voted Trump in 2016 and 2020. Straight ticket Republican.
You made the wrong choice this cycle. Look, my friend. Look at these peanut M&Ms. This is a disgrace.
Woof.
Disgrace. Woof.
All right, y'all. So here it is, Election Day. We are here. Let's check in with Alex Jones and see if he's keeping it normal over there at InfoWars. By the way, what happened? I thought InfoWars was going to be totally liquidated. Has that happened officially yet? Where are we at on that? I know he could just rename the show and do it, under a new banner. Like, I know that, right? But is the studio gone yet? Like, what's going on? Is he just recording iPhone videos? I don't know. But here he is. Here's what he has to say.
You know they're not going to just give up easily after the impeachments and the Russian collusion crap and all the fake indictments and the lawfare. This is common sense. So I'm saying be ready for the Civil War conditions and the not certifying it, and Carville saying we need an armed uprising against Trump and Trump supporters. I mean, these people are going for broke. And mainline Republican supporters aren't really ready for this. Trump is starting to get it and was talking about all this.
He said, be ready for the Civil War conditions. And then he goes on to say, the Democrats are going to try to steal it. Really, Alex? Really, Alex? If you had to bet $100,000, who would you say is more likely to wrongly claim victory? If Kamala loses, I have no doubt she'll give up. If it's close enough for a recount, she'll, of course, demand a recount, right? But if she loses, she will 100% step aside. Do you feel that way about Trump? Do you? Listen, no honest person can say that. Guys, this is classic. Accuse the other side of trying to steal it, and that lays the groundwork for you to say, even if they sincerely and genuinely win, no, they're stealing it, right? They're already doing that. Guys, what do you think the whole purpose was of all of these hack right-wing pollsters like Atlas Intel that pretend like Trump's up a lot, and all these foreign cryptocurrency betting markets where they say Trump's got a massive chance of winning? What do you think the point was of building the narrative that he's inevitable? The whole point is if/when he loses, they get to go, had to be rigged. Look, I was up massively with the foreign crypto whale betting platform. Look, all these hack right-wing pollsters who were off by like 15 points in the 2022 election, they said I was definitely going to win and I lost, so it can't be real. And this is, they are trying to steal it. Therefore, we got to act. And by the way, I told you guys, the Red Mirage is likely to happen again. They'll count most of the votes from Election Day first. The Republicans always have an advantage there. But then the mail-in votes get counted second. So it'll look like the Republicans have a lead, and then the Democrats will close the gap and eventually surpass. And he's already telling you, we are not going to accept that. We are going to say that's fraudulent. We're going to say that's rigged. Guys, there are fucking a dozen articles already out there explaining in detail the idea of the Red Mirage or the Blue Shift. And they haven't read those articles. They don't care about those articles because they are narrative humpers. They will not accept it if they lose. We literally showed a poll that said exactly that. Only 55% of Republicans say if Trump loses, he should concede. Only 55. Nearly half the party's like, no, even if you lose, just fucking steal it. On the Democratic side, 85% say if you lose, it's over. Wrap it up. It's done. So I don't understand, how can a democracy survive in the long run when this is what one of the two sides are doing? Saying prepare for civil war. Guys, I'm telling you, hear me now, quote me later, this is what I fear. If the Red Mirage indeed does happen, which is very, very likely, Trump is probably going to come out early and try to declare victory and say any vote that gets counted from here on out is fraudulent, it's fake, it's the vote dumps at 3 a.m. and they're rigged. And I don't, look, you need to have the Democratic Party ready to call out the bullshit. You need to have the Democrats lawyered up to fight all this stuff in court if need be, and you absolutely are going to need that. And you're going to need the media to call a spade and say Trump is lying, and you're going to need some Republicans to be like, no, we're not doing this again. But the problem is, many of the Republican politicians, they learned the opposite lesson. The lesson they learned is everybody who questioned Trump, everybody who disagreed with his stolen election narrative, they all got kicked out of politics for life, kicked out of the Republican Party for life. So if anything, the lesson they learned is always suck up to the master and you'll be okay. So they'll probably fall right in line and start doing, guys, prepare for just a tsunami of misinformation and disinformation and malinformation from Republicans online. Prepare for it. Elon Musk is going to flip a fucking switch. The second Kamala takes the lead, Elon Musk is going to flip a fucking switch, and it's going to be all the most insane, unhinged, incorrect things you've ever seen in your life about, here's a video from this county in fucking Georgia where they're stealing it again, blah, 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 and it's all going to be garbage, because they can't hold an L. They can't fathom that their fascist leader is actually unlikable to most of the country. They can't fathom it. And none of them have ever honestly engaged with any of the numbers that look bad for their guy. None of them have ever said, oh, would you look at that? Kamala's favorability rating is above water and Trump's is massively underwater. That's weird. How is Kamala +5 and Trump is -11? That doesn't look too good for Trump. They've never engaged with any of the arguments against Trump. In their world, they just think, no, he's winning and he's winning by a mile and it's guaranteed to be over. And if that doesn't happen, they're lying, they're cheating, they're stealing it. We are so segregated when it comes to our information landscape in this country that it's nonstop brainwashing right-wing propaganda 24/7 on one side, and the other side is living in reality. And it's all going to come to a head today. It's all going to come to a head later today. And this is what Alex Jones is saying, but this is what a lot of Republicans are thinking. And God forbid they look and they get their marching orders from their dear leader when he realizes, hey, the tide's turning against me and I'm fucked, so now I got to go out there and try to steal it. And I need you to understand this too, guys. Remember, Trump knew he didn't win in 2020. There are countless quotes from him behind the scenes, trying to get Mike Pence to reject the results. And he says to Mike Pence, Mike, you're too honest. In other words, you're telling the truth, saying I lost. I'm lying, saying I won. He said he was watching TV and Biden was on, and he said, I can't believe I lost to this guy. This is what he said. There are countless examples of him acknowledging here and there, like, yeah, I lost. Right? But he lies. He lies about it. It's going to be the same fucking thing this time. You think he doesn't know deep down if he loses that he lost? You think he didn't? No, he will know it. He will know it. But he'll lie, and all of his little sycophants will rile everybody up and make this country a more dangerous place. So get ready for it, man. It's happening tonight. So anyway, guys, normal show tomorrow, breaking down the election results. Perhaps I'll do some important videos if I need to when the results are coming in tonight. If the election is over tonight, then you'll hear from me, right? You'll hear from me. If there's anything important to discuss, you'll hear from me. But tomorrow as well, normal show. It's exciting, man. Everybody buckle up. Everybody buckle up. It's no matter what happens, it's going to be a wild ride. All right, guys, that's the show. Thank you all very much. I love you.
Scoffed at, because the truth no longer matters. Only the narrative. You are now in the narrative age, And in the narrative age, the truth is sacrificed for the narrative. It doesn't matter if it's on video, if you saw it with your own eyes and heard it with your own ears. If it's against the narrative, then it will be deemed false. Period.